Good Tuesday evening, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And tonight, I finally get to bring in my review on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, before I get into this thing, I do apologize that this is a little late. I just never got a chance to get around to it. I had to do like some other stuff and I just never got to it. So tonight's the night finally. So Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is the conclusion to the Indiana Jones franchise as we know it so far. And this takes place in, I want to say like in the 60s, I'm pretty positive. And the movie starts off with like a flashback, and it's kind of like a de-aged Harrison Ford. And he basically is with Toby Jones, which is kind of like another sidekick of his. And they're trying to protect Archimedes' dial or something like that. The Antitheka, I think it was called. And this is a very solid opening because you also get the introduction of Mads Mikkelsen. He's the villain in here. And he goes by Schmidt, but his real name is Jorgen Voller. So, the movie starts off with a train chase, and it's like filled with Nazis, and the train gets derailed, and Indy and Baz, played by Toby Jones, escape in the nick of time. And then you have the official movie starting with Indy at age 80, and he wants to retire from his archaeology teaching job. So that doesn't happen for him automatically, of course, because he thought that he killed Mads Mikkelsen in the beginning, but he's back with a vengeance, looking for the other half of Archimedes' dial. And he sends like some of his goons out to get him. And then you get to meet Indy's goddaughter, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Her name is Helena Shaw. I had to look that up because I kind of forgot. But this movie sets up like any other Indiana Jones adventure. But after 5 entries, this one, I don't want to say is the worst, but to me, the way this thing wraps up, I believe in aliens more. But I'll get into how this thing wraps up in a minute. But essentially, Indy and Helena Shaw go on this globetrotting adventure trying to find the other half of the dial before Voller finds it. So they go to like Spain, and you see like Antonio Banderas' character, which is kind of like an old friend of Indy's, and he serves one purpose of this movie, and that is to find part of a crypt or something. Huh. This movie is very hard to explain without getting into a lot of spoilers, because I feel like I need to spoil it because I hardly even remember it myself, and I just saw this like less than a week ago. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it's kind of forgettable in my opinion. But some of the action scenes are kind of lackluster and, like I said, forgettable. But I think there is one scene that stands out, and it's like the tuk-tuk scene where they're in the streets of Morocco. I did enjoy that chase scene. But and some massive spoilers, the way this movie wraps up just literally had me thinking, what is going on? But Indy has the other half of the dial, and it opens up a rift in the sky, and they go back to the siege of Syracuse in 212 BC. I'm like, what are you doing? So the ending of this is very Langoliers like, which, I mean, that's a very famous sci-fi King novella. And that's essentially about like going through different parts of time. But the final act in this one might be my least favorite, because it's just like not believable whatsoever. I mean, I'll take the final act, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, over this one. Because when I saw that they went back in time, I'm like, no. It was weird to say the least. But, yeah. Overall, I did enjoy this movie a little bit, but it is nowhere near my favorite of the franchise. You'll see my ranking here, and probably tomorrow. So got like one more video to film after this. That's going to be a long one, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, right now, for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I'm setting this at probably like a B-. So it's kind of like in between Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But which one is better? Stay tuned for my ranking, and I'll tell you. But to me, Crystal Skull has issues, but some of it makes sense more than the Dial of Destiny. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I do recommend it if you're an indie fan like me. Of course, this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and it was fine. But those are my full thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Let me know what you guys think, and my next video is going to be the movies I watched in June. Finally. So I'll film that here in a minute, and then tomorrow I'll rank the Indiana Jones franchise. And then, well, speaking of Indiana Jones, And then after my Indiana Jones franchise ranking, I'm going to give you something very special. This was originally planned for like Memorial Day, but I just never got around to it. It's going to be my top 10 war movies. So it's going to be an interesting video, and I can't wait to bring it to you guys. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Adios. Peace.